speaking of consistency, Matt sent over something to me this morning that I found to be really funny.
Okay.
And you're going to love this. I didn't want to tell you about
This
it.
is what they refer to as a web gem.
You're going to love this.
Okay, what you got?
You're going to love this.
Right.
Okay. So I didn't want to tell you because I wanted
You
your
wanted my
reaction.
live reaction.
I wanted
Okay.
your live reaction.
That's fair.
So there was an issue at Colorado Rockies Stadium yesterday.
Okay.
Because there was a fan that yelled out a word, and I'm going to get to it here in a second. And the people around him thought that it was a racial slur. And it stirred up a bit of a hornet's nest. Here's what the Colorado Rockies put out on Instagram, and I'm going to read you what they put out 20 hours later. Here's how it begins. The Colorado Rockies are disgusted at the racial slur by a fan directed at the Marlins' Lewis Brinson during the 9th inning of today's game. Although the subject was not identified prior to the end of the game, the Rockies are still investigating this incident. The Rockies have zero tolerance for any form of racism or discrimination, and any fan using derogatory language of any kind will be ejected and banned from Coors Field.
Okay.
20 hours later. After a thorough investigation that included calls, emails, and video clips from concerned fans, media, and broadcast partners, the Colorado Rockies have concluded that the fan that the fan was indeed yelling for the Rockies' mascot, Dinger, in hopes of getting his attention for a photo. And there was never any racial slur that occurred. The Rockies The Rockies remain dedicated to providing an inclusive environment for all fans, players, guests at Coors Field, and any fan using derogatory language of any kind will be ejected from Coors Field.
So you know what I've just realized? Like the world,
We've lost our minds.
but I understand. So I understand so much more now. Hunter Biden is a Rocky. He was calling for Dinger the mascot.
Exactly what. That's where I was getting at.
Hunter Biden's a Rockies fan.
It's
So
always
it's okay.
He said Dinger. It's not what you think he
It's
said.
okay. You got to be kidding me, man. And this is an issue that
So you're ready. So do you know what the Rockies are going to do? They're going to change the name of the mascot.
They are.
I bet.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
yeah. Now he's going to be Sam.
So for those people who don't know what a dinger is a home run.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
With George Springer, what do we call him? The Springer Dinger.
Yeah.
And so we are now living in a world where a fan is literally yelling at a mascot, and we are so uber sensitive and hypersensitive that we can't even distinguish. We have to have an investigation for something like this.
I mean, Wesley,
how many games have you been to in your life? Sporting events?
Hundreds.
Have you ever heard the N-word used? Not by the players?
No.
Hundreds. I've never once heard. All the games that I've been to.
You know that they're going to change strikes are going to be A's now. Because if you get 3 strikes and have KKK, I mean, people are going to get mad. So they're going to have to change it to another letter. What? I mean...
There's going to be no such thing as 3 strikes. It goes from 2 to 4 strikes.
It's like the 13th floor. It's like the 13th floor of a hotel, 12 to 14.
What are we talking about?
So, and here's the big issue I have with this, and we have talked about this a number of times. If you look to be offended, you'll always find it. If you're looking for and this is what saddens me. Think of the mindset that you would have to be in to watch a person and say, I know they're using the N-word.
Think about that.
Think about
You have to
the
try to
mindset
make that
you would have to be in. And quite frankly, it's the idea of living in fear. And this dovetails with COVID and a number of other things. I refuse to live my life in fear. Mm-hmm. And that includes the fear of somebody saying something about me that I won't like or that's offensive. I'm not going to live my life in that fear. The fact that you have people walking around who are waiting for people to mess up to say something so that they can jump on them, what does that say about who we are as a culture and where we are mentally? how can you have any level of fun or enjoyment in life if you're constantly looking for people that are trying to offend you or trying to marginalize you in some way? And people live their lives that way.
Could you imagine this poor guy? Okay, so he was probably 8th, 9th inning. Probably had a few, right? Because anytime you see a grown-ass man yelling for a mascot, my guess
Things
is
is probably not going well.
My guess is he's had a few. He's had a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
Okay, so
this is not something that a sober second inning person does.
No. And so, could you imagine him doing that? Then probably gets in his car, has a good game, enjoys the time with his boys, and gets in an Uber, gets home, and then all of a sudden his phone's blowing up.
It's like, dude, you're banned from the stadium.
You can't.
You racist.
All of his wife's friends are like, "You married a racist." Your wife is like, "What did you say?"
Oh yeah, and now his kids can't go to school anymore.
They can't go to school anymore
because kids can't go to school anymore. He probably got fired from his job and then rehired because he knew that they would sue him.
The whole time he's thinking to himself, I mean, I was drunk. Maybe I said it. I thought I said dinger. I didn't know. I didn't know.
That's just
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.